Very good afternoon to all of you. So, dear student, yesterday I'm not able to make the video of 19th July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So, I'm going to make it now. And today newspaper make it by evening, so that by the you can say about around 6-7 p.m. you'll get the today newspaper analysis. So, big question is how we can get this this PDF of this newspaper. You simply scan this QR code, download our application, and there will be a called Premium Infographics Edition. There you will get this PDF, and you can also scan this QR code to join our YouTube channel. There you will get the daily newspaper analysis, and you can also scan this QR code to join our Telegram group, where you will get a lot of PDF study material. So that is going to helpful. And those who are using iOS and iPad device, you can download Class Plus application and use org code edge PKRMEJ to get all these things same as. So first important news of the day. So USA add TRF to the terror list for Pahalgam strike. So the resistance front is declared as a terrorist organization and specially designated global terrorist by External Affairs Ministry. Call it as an affirmation of Indo-USA counter-terrorism cooperation, because we and USA, हम दोनों के बीच में इंडिया और यूएसए के बीच में एक काउंटर टेररिज्म एग्रीमेंट है, एंड वी आर फाइटिंग counter-terrorism at all the level by supporting or putting this resistance front as a terrorism, so that also strengthen our counter-terrorism. Okay, so you can see here the move India's international counter-terrorism campaign. The United States on Thursday designated the resistance front as a foreign terrorist organization and specially designated global terrorist. Okay, so the resistance front, which is backed by the Pakistan-based Lashkar-e-Taiba, a militant group, claimed to be behind the deadly April 22 terror attack that left 26 people died in the Pahalgam district. So Indian government welcomed the USA designation of the Resistance Front as a terrorist organization. Okay, because once USA designate a particular organization as a terrorist, so after that they can impose sanction, we can impose sanction restriction, so that there cannot be any funding that is being access to all this the terrorist organization. And if any particular country they are supporting, then they can be held accountable in the FATF, Financial Action Task Force, so they can put on the gray list. So that can be a very good, you can say, outcome for India to choke this funding. So India cooperation with the international partner will continue to ensure that terrorist organization, their proxies are held accountable. So those who are involved in the terrorism and their proxy, they all should need to be held accountable. The Resistance Front as a designated foreign terrorist organization, specially designated global terrorist, Lashkar-e-Toiba proxy claimed. Okay. So next is the judge challenges Supreme Court from the ex CJI action in cash case. So we know that recently there is a huge cash that is being found on the house of Justice Yashwant Burma. At that time he was actually the part of the Delhi High Court. But later on, there is a in-house probe by the Supreme Court. They found that unaccounted case, and they recommend the government for starting of the impeachment motion. So, dear student, it is your homework study about impeachment. So what is the procedure of impeachment of judges? Like, what is the support needed? So if you look into that, you'll find there is an act called Judges Inquiry Act. So this act guide how judge can be impeached. So under this act, you need support of, here it is given, no, I'm not given. Here you need 50 judges of Rajya Sabha or 100, sorry, the 50 MPs, support of 50 MP Rajya Sabha or 100 MPs of Lok Sabha to introduce the bill. Okay, so I'll make a separate video on this, impeachment process. So don't worry, it's a short. I'll make after this session, so you can watch that also. The next is gaps in the MCD plan to clear the Gazipur Dam by 2028. So in Delhi, so there is a location called Gazipur. You can see here, it is a huge pile of all this waste that is being piled off over a years. So Delhi Municipal Corporation, they are planning to clear that garbage by 2028. But now it is being seen that so the past piling off we need to clear first, but we are not able to clear that. So by not able to clear the past, it is very difficult for us to clear the the dump site there. Just a second, dear student. Just a second. ठीक है, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। So the National Green Tribunal has pointed out that gap in the Municipal Corporation of Delhi plan to clear the Gazipur landfill by 2028. The tribunal noted that the dump receive around 2,400 to 2,600 tons of garbage daily. So much less quantity is being processed, indicating that the untreated garbage is adding to the legacy waste. So we have already legacy means past waste plus adding new waste. So that is the reason it is very difficult for us to clear this garbage by 2028. Okay. So we have a waste to energy generating plant in Gazipur, process around 700 to 1,000 tons of waste every day. So that means, there we are generating around this much of, and we are only solving around 700 to 1,000. That means around 1,500 tons of garbage is lying there. Okay. So we need to find a concrete solutions to this solve. So whenever you are talking about, piling of waste, disposal challenges, you can talk about Gazipur dump in Delhi. So NCT, the NCR region. And dear student, those who want to join our mentorship program, you can join. So you'll get high quality mentorship by those who are very highly experienced in the UPSC. You can simply scan this QR code to join it, or you can reach out to us for more detail. Okay. So next, European Union imposed sanction on refinery in Gujarat for Russian oil energy link. So recently, European Union sanctioned a Gujarat-based refinery owned by Naira Energy Limited. So why it is being imposed? Because this refinery, they received the crude oil from the Russia, and Russia is currently fighting with Ukraine. And European Union, they face threat from the Russia because they believe that if there is a uh, fight continue for long period of time, so they might face the threat directly from the Russia. So they just want to control the funding of Russia. So how they can control the funding? They believe that it is the crude oil from the Russia that is being helpful for the fight. So that is the reason they want to stop that. So Russian energy sector. So the announcement come just USA Congress debate tightening sanction on purchase of Russian crude oil, with India, China and Brazil being the name by the US lawmaker, because India, Brazil and China, they are largest buyer of the Russian oil. They think that if we can control this oil, then we can control the funding that is being received by the, you can say, Russia from the this oil trade can control this war. Okay. So the new European Union sanction also include lowering of the oil price cap. The maximum price country can pay for Russian oil while using shopping and insurance from advanced economy G7 reduced from 60 to 47.6 per barrel. Okay. So that is what they are being proposed. So next important news is Maharashtra Public Security Bill open to the misuse opposition. Recently, a bill is being passed by Maharashtra. So this law, the bill is called Maharashtra Public Security Bill. So what are the provision? A delegation of opposition led on Friday submitted a letter to the governor. So against the Maharashtra Special Public Security Bill. So what are the provision they are saying? Because they say that there are a lot of ambiguity. The law can be open to misuse, so that may lead to the oppression. So the delegation accused the state government of attempting to legitimize extraordinary executive power under the guise of public security. The leaders express alarm over the bill sweeping power. They also argue that they criminalize dissent and target the opposition movement. They believe that if government found that any section of society they are very critical towards the government, they are against the government, so they can imprison them, they can suppress that. So that is what the main criticism of the bill. So it empower the executive to declare organization as unlawful without following due process of law. So that means it is giving too much of power to the executive. That means the government or the administration. So they can declare any organization as a illegal or unlawful following. So this is what the concern they are being raised. So whatever may be the law, it should be followed by due process of law. And dear students, those who are writing the answer, those who are giving a 2026 attempt, so you can scan this QR code to join our answer writing program. So it is very nominal fees. So yet you will get the quality evaluation by UPSC interview given or selected candidate. So it is not like high quality evaluation at very nominal fees. And dear student, we are recently starting this Infographics Premium Edition, where you'll get this highlighted newspaper along with the prelims highlight, main specific questions, some MCQ and additional information that is going to start from 1st of August So you can join by scanning this QR code and this program. Okay. So next important news is work on first phase of jungle safari in the Aravalli to begin soon. So Haryana Minister. So Haryana Forest and Wildlife Minister Rao, Minister said that. So recently they are planning to start jungle safari in the Aravalli region so that, that can create ecotourism and also help in improving all these things. So the project would give a new identity to the national capital region in direction of green and sustainable environment. So green tourism of total project area. So 2.5 acre will be developed. First phase, yes, 2,500 acre will be developed in fast place and play important role in promoting green tourism as well as wildlife conservation. Okay, so just like the Bantara, Bantara is the largest jungle safari in the Jamnagar. This is being promoted by Reliance Industry. Okay. So already they're asking one question on the Bantara. Bantara recently seen in news related to what? I think it is in OPSC. OPSC, they ask about Bantara. So, Bantara recently seen in news related to what? So next is the platform fee and industry standards inevitable outcome. So recently we have seen that, the Zomato, Swiggy, so they all charges a platform fee for using that. So that can be, help them to sustain. Okay. So that is what the news. So you just know that, this intermediate, they need to survive themselves. So how they can survive themselves? So by charging a platform fee, because, if let's say these are the customer market, these are the market. So these are marketplace. So they can connect customer with the market. So by doing that, they'll charge market fee. So that is what make their operation sustainable. And dear student, those who are writing, planning to give OPSC examination, you can scan this QR code to join our OPSC prelims test series. So it is high quality test series at very low price. You can get that. So 3 elephant, including calf, run over by a train in the Bengal probe order. So if we look into the elephant death, so recent time we are seeing that the number of elephant death is increasing very fast. So what are the reason for death of elephant? So first one is accident in rail, na? Electrocution, then attack by the people. Na? So these are the 3 large reasons for all the elephant deaths. So number of elephant that India currently having around 30,000. This population is almost stagnant. That means population is not increasing, neither increasing nor decreasing. Okay. So next important news is Nistar, first indigenous diving support vessel commissioned into Navy. So this can be a very good question in your prelims or state pieces. So it can talk about recently Nistar is in news related to what? So Indian Navy on Friday commissioned INS Nistar, first indigenously designed, constructed diving support vessel in presence of Union Ministry. So it is a 118-meter ships, which is first of the 2 diving support vessel being built by the Hindustan Shipyard Limited. What do you mean by diving? So let's say there is if any accident happened to a submarine, so we need to go deep inside the water and need to recover that submarine. For that, we need to have a diving support submarine. So that can help in undertake complex deep sea saturation diving and rescue operation at capabilities selective navies possesses across the globe. The commissioning of INS Nistar firmly reinforced the role of Indian Navy as a first responder. So that means in case any accident that is being happened in our Indian Ocean region, so Indian Navy can be a first responder in that case. Okay? Supporting the indigenous shipbuilding industry has been one of the pillar of the government Atmanirbhar Bharat. So our objective of our Atmanirbhar Bharat is support our domestic industry. At present, 57 ships in pipeline are being constructed indigenously. That means we are on the verge of constructing 57 ships. Okay. So next is critical support. So INS Nistar is not just a technical assets, but a crucial operation enabler. Nistar will provide critical submarine rescue support to the Indian Navy as well as regional partners. So in case of any accident, of our submarine, so INS Nistar is going to play the game changer role. So they will help for rescue of our men, those who are trapped inside that. So INS Nistar is installed with state-of-art diving equipment such as remotely operated vehicles, self-propelled hyperbolic lifeboat, diving, compression chamber. It can undertake diving and salvage of operation up to 300-meter depth. It would also serve as a mothership for deep submerged rescue vessels to rescue and evacuate personnel from diving submarine and distress below the surface. So it can be used. Let's say there is a submarine deep in the water. So let's say there is a problem in that submarine. So here this Nistar, they can send another vessel, then they can reach there and carry the personnel to this ship, and that can be carried back to the coastal region. So next is government demonstrated the fake verified X account in the High Court. So recently there is a government, officials, they clearly expose how it is easy to open an account on the Telegram X on any name, and you can post anything. So that can be create fake news around. So this article is talking about that only. So India caution against a double standard on the Russian oil. So why? Because a lot of country in Europe, they are still depends on the Russian oil. They are using Russian oil, but they still criticize India. So that is what the double standard India is against. India is saying that while there should not be double standard. While you are using oil for your economic growth, you cannot dictate the terms to the India that you should not use, or whatever maybe that is the reason. So India does not subscribe to any unilateral sanction measure. So External Affairs Ministry, that is what clearly we have said to the European Union. European Union announced new sanction package aimed at Russia over its war in the Ukraine. So it also aimed to Gujarat West Naira Energy. So that is having a collaboration with the Rosneft. Okay? So India consider the provision of energy security responsibility of the paramount importance to meet the basic need of our citizen. So our importance is to have energy security. Our importance is to ensure that our citizens should have access to the energy at very affordable price. We are not concerned about whatever may be the unilateral sanction that is being imposed. So we should stress that there should be more, no doubt standard, no double standards, and especially when it comes to the energy trade. While European Union, they themselves consume huge amount of energy from Russia, but they are trying to impose sanction on the India. So that is what the double standard India against the India. Dear student, we are providing a summary of all the newspaper current affair from the Hindu, the Indian Express, from PIB and other newspaper. So it is already available in our application. You can scan this QR code to get it, so that we can get very good current affair at one place. So the resistance front was floated to deflect international sanction against the Pakistan. So recently, what happened? So it is the stated objective of Pakistan to bleed India through the thousands of cuts. So to ensure that, they have recently floated this the resistance front. But before, there are a lot of terrorist organizations like LET, Lashkar-e-Toiba, JEM, they are operating. But that was, everyone know that they are operating from the Pakistan. So it is very difficult for them to give a deniability. To ensure that there should be a degree of deniability, they floated this resistance front, and this is nothing but a support or established, or you can say the front organization of the LET. So we can say they just simply change the name to create trouble in the India, and now it is being designated as a foreign terrorist by the USA. So you can see the resistance front now designated by USA as global terror outfit is a proxy of Pakistan West Lashkar-e-Toiba. Outfit was floated after math of dilution of Article 370. So after, whenever we remove the Article 370, and at that time it is being created to evade the international sanction against Pakistan, according to Indian Security Agency. So TFR has carried out attack in the Pakistan, notably Pahalgam. So killing 9 Hindu pilgrims in Riyasi district, murder of the 6 migrant workers. So that means they are targeted killing. They are killing all those who are Hindus. So killing 3 army and police in the Anantnag also. So government India designated output as a terrorist organization under the Unlawful Activity Prevention Act. So in Indian government can designate any organization at unlawful under UAPA, Unlawful Prevention Activity Act 1967. So under 1960, Unlawful Activity Prevention Act, we can designate any organization as a unlawful organization. So National Investigation Team also given a reward for chief of that organization if anyone give information and led to the arrest. Okay, I think this is what the news is. So dear student, you can scan this QR code to join our Telegram. There you can interact with me. So next is the motions to remove judge not related to the government, say the parliament. So there is a act called Judges Inquiry Act. That is what guide the process for removal of the judges. It is provided that there can be a motion that is introduced either house of the parliament, but that house need 50% support from the to introduce this bill. You need 50% Lok Sabha support, or 100% 50% from the Rajya Sabha, or 100% from the Lok Sabha. And same bill need to be passed in the same session with special majority. Then if president is absent, in that case the Supreme Court judge can be impeached. But to your surprise, there is no judge so far being impeached. Okay? So here there can be a very good question. Which state recently implemented uniform civil code? देखो, in Goa, there is a uniform civil code that is exist way back to, like, it is before our, even independence. But recently, the Uttarakhand is being implemented the uniform civil code. That means the civil code, that means the same law that is being applied to the marriage, adoption, succession, and inheritance. Okay, so this article is talking about, recently we have seen the falling through the cracks. So there is a bridge that is being collapsed in the Mahisagar. So because of that, so many people are died. So earlier this month, 20 people were killed in Gujarat when a segment of Mujpur Gambira bridge fall into the Mahisagar river. So residents have said that they have been complaining repeatedly to the authority, but authority are not listening. So bridge has developed cracks and shocks whenever a heavy vehicle passes. And there was no response to the people whenever they complain about repair of this work. Okay. So first important editorial page of this is that is recently government being implemented Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. So you need to study about this in very detail because there can be good question in your prelims and mains. A scheme approved by the Union Cabinet to be implemented during convergence of 33 existing schemes. So 33 existing scheme will merger across the 11 department according to the Union Agriculture Ministry. Okay? So the center pet schemes such as the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi, PM Kisan, PM Fasal Bima Yojana, as well as 11 state scheme to be identified by the district Dhan Dhanya Samiti. So it is the expenditure we are going to have is 24,000 for next 6 years, and it is being going to implemented the 100 low productive district. So this is not for everyone. Center will identify 100 district based on the low productivity, cropping intensity, and less credit disbursement. The hope is that scheme will result in higher productivity value addition in agriculture and allied sector. The local livelihood creation leading to increasing domestic production and self-reliance. If everything is implemented properly, then we can increase our production, make India self-sufficient. So background of decreasing public spending on agriculture. So this scheme we are being implemented when we are seeing that and repeatedly our investment in agriculture is declining very fast. So this aggregation of all scheme under one umbrella suggests that government want to uniformity in running the welfare schemes. Okay? So just read them, you'll understand that. But our objective here is to understand what is the Pradhan Mantri Dhan Dhanya Krishi Yojana. So taking responsibility, recently this article is talking about, recently there is a stampede happened after the RCB parade. So many people are died because of lack of proper management. So here it is talking about, we need to ascertain the responsibility on the Karnataka government because they have given the permission, they have supported some way or other for, having some mass events without proper taking care of it. So that is the reason we have seen so many tragedy. So the mental health of the pilot is elephant in the room. So recently after this, death of, this crash and death of so many people in the Ahmedabad flight crash. So there is a demand that we need to take care of the, screening and identification of mental health of the aircraft pilot. So this article is talking about, airline management and regulator need to adopt a very progressive attitude on this sensitive issue. And so that we need to ensure, our aviation regulator name is Director General of Civil Aviation should adopt a very progressive attitude towards finding solution. Requiring pilot to undergo a detailed mental health test will only counterproductive and impose more mental burden on the pilots. There are severe limitation on objectively assessing mental health if test is subjective without specific criteria. So it's very difficult to assess the mental health of anyone. If there is a, if there is very difficult to ascertain whether this person is having good mental health or not. So the most pragmatic solution will be to educate pilot to recognize sign of depression in their colleague. So flight instructor can be important link as they can get to see difficulties and experience by the trainees such before their peers. So this is what actually very good thing. So next important article that we are going to see Indian inequality and World Bank claim. So what happened recently? A report being published the inequality at the World Bank level. So we have found that in terms of consumption inequality, India is having fourth largest equal country in the world. So after that, government have given a big claim, and opposition, they accuse that government is promoting, the report is fake report. So the World Bank ignored the reality, and in India there is high reality that we all know that income and you can say the wealth inequality is quite high. So how come India being a equal, you can say equality in terms of consumption country? So why this report is given? Why India rank is very high in terms of consumption? We know that the poor people that tends to report all their expenditure, but rich people they don't tends to report all their expenditure. So that is the reason there is a gap. And second thing, as you move, as a person became a richer and reduce their poverty level, so our consumption is almost the same. So we are more investing on, or you can say investing, saving. So that is the reason with increasing income, our consumption inequality is going to bridge very fast. Okay. So this article is talking about, if you look into the Tendulkar or multidimensional poverty index, Niti Aayog based. So you found about, India is able to pull out 27 crore people out of the poverty line. So this poverty line is $3. So just note them down, whatever I'm putting in box. So it is important for your mains. Okay. The next is taking the wealth inequality, index, national income share bottom 50% increase from 13.9 to 15. You can see about bottom 50% of the population, bottom 50% of the population, they share only 15% of the wealth. And during the same time, the top 10%, they share 57% of the wealth. So there is a highly inequality. Okay. So the 1% of all taxpayer account 72%, 77% of total tax paid. Even in the individual category, the 1% paid 42% of the total tax. So here you can see about, though we have equality in terms of consumption, but still there is a highly inequality in terms of income and wealth. That means what income we are earning monthly or yearly basis, and what wealth those who have and those who don't have. Okay. So here we must travel a long way before can claim that egalitarian society. Inequality assessing to the quality health education is a serious concern. Country without is with our size and diversity, inevitably there is a many leaps. So however, the story of India is not just about poverty and inequality anymore. It is about progress and aspirations too. So you can use this kind of word in your conclusion. You can talk about all these things. Okay. So dear student, this is all about the 19th July, the Hindu newspaper analysis. So the 20th newspaper analysis I'll publish in evening around 6:30 or 7 p.m. So you can watch that. So if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel. And if you have any suggestion, please write in the comment box. According to that, we'll make video. Okay, dear student, I'll have to end here. Chaliye, bye-bye. Have a good day. Take care.